Disturbing occurrences. Many in our Asian American neighborhoods are reporting that foot traffic is down and business has slowed to a halt. Even more troubling, we are seeing a disturbing rise in hate-filled attacks. This has now led some to worry about how to defend themselves, and gun sales are actually up in certain neighborhoods. Our Kira Phillips has this report.
It's disturbing and disheartening.
If you are from China, I'm surprised they even let you over here.
We're talking about racially motivated crimes inspired by fear over the coronavirus.
Now I'm going to share it to my family.
As COVID-19 spreads across the United States, so does an alarming rise in hate crimes within Asian American communities.
Why did they do that to this car? My heart just sunk.
This car vandalized in California. The language too disturbing to show you. And the Chandy family is devastated. Anna, in tears, forced to explain to her child what the racial slurs mean.
Why are they being racist to us? We don't even have the coronavirus.
And then there's this video, posted to Facebook, now part of an NYPD hate crime investigation.
So move.
The video, horrifying. An Asian American minding his own business as a total stranger berates him before spraying him with Febreze. New York City's transit department now calling this incident racist. The CDC also weighing in now, saying that being of Asian descent does not increase the chance of getting or spreading COVID-19.
So I'm breathing this and I'm breathing everything that they bring to our country, you feel me? And that's a pandemic.
But many Asian Americans are increasingly reporting that they're being singled out.
If you're from China, I need to know.
In videos filled with misinformation being shared on social media, on the street, and in schools. Dylan Mariano's family says their son was discriminated against by a teacher who claims he mistook coughing as a sign that the 13-year-old had COVID-19. Dylan says he was coughing because he was choking on water.
This was the first time that I've ever felt I was being treated differently for being Asian.
Dylan and his family saying other non-Asian students in his class don't face the same type of treatment. The school district not responding to our requests for comment.
He actually said to me, he goes, all the other students who are coughing, they don't get sent out, but they're not Asian.
Mixed messaging not helpful as certain politicians, like House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, one of several House conservatives, calling COVID-19 a Chinese or Wuhan coronavirus. Now, Asian community advocates around the country are speaking out.
I think this is kind of unprecedented. This is not just affecting Chinatown here, it's affecting Chinatown in North America and globally.
From foot traffic to small businesses, Chinatowns and Asian American communities across the country severely impacted in the face of COVID-19.
I think there's a great deal of misplaced fear directed at the Asian community, which is very, very unfortunate because this disease is not ethnic-centric.
For 40 years, Jing Fong has been an institution in New York. Now, the largest restaurant in Chinatown is closing down temporarily in the middle of the week.
If this continues for another 2 months, we don't know if we're going to remain open anymore.
With a staff of 180 employees, Jing Fong is seeking ways to keep the lights on.
On a busy holiday, about 75% tourists. On a normal, like Chinese New Year, it's maybe 25% tourists. But now we get 0 tourists.
Temporary closures and steep discounts hitting these restaurants hard, and business owners trying to figure out how they'll make ends meet.
呢個絕對係我哋最重要嘅問題就係咁樣，開又死，唔開又係死，等係睇點死法，死唔死係咪病菌死呢？定還是係閂門冇生意死？
Local Chinese businesses are taking measures to mitigate panic and fight public perception.
People are very concerned. We understand their feelings, but actually it's hurting us too.
Fear of coronavirus impacting Los Angeles, California, too.
And we just wanted to try our best to protect the customer and our employee.
The increased racial tension has also led to a rise in gun sales in parts of the country. Some Asian Americans feel unsafe, and they're beginning to arm themselves in response.
Well, last year we did with this company about $100,000, and year to date we already did like almost $70,000 sales.
Arcadia firearm and safety owner David Liu says business is booming.
This is like a sales for my purchase for last 4 months of 2019, and this is how much we have. Just this little binder, and this is what we have for this year. All this here.
And as people in times of crisis have turned to buying guns before, some Asian Americans are doubling down, fearing not only a spreading virus, but also a rise in racism that's forcing them to take drastic measures.
Why did you decide to buy a gun right now?
For self-defense.
How has coronavirus impacted your business?
Tremendous.
Kin Lam's family has owned a popular New York City dim sum restaurant for more than 4 decades.
You've been through SARS, you've been through swine flu.
Yes.
Is coronavirus different when it comes to business?
Yes. And then when you talk about swine flu and H1N1, we didn't feel anything at all.
Lam says he's lost $1.5 million and business is down around 50%.
What do you think the reason is?
The reason is because Chinese started the coronavirus, but they're just scared to get infected by Chinese people.
And they think Chinese people are at a Chinese restaurant?
Yes, yes.
And it's not just at restaurants.
You haven't heard of the coronavirus?
So, what does that have to do with those?
Last month, a man posted videos on Facebook that appear to show employees at 2 hotels in Indiana turning him away.
So no Asians can stay here. Why is that? Because of virus.
In Madison, Wisconsin, school officials say there's been comments made toward Asian students, and they're working to stop those responsible. It's not just in the U.S. Asians around the world have reported discrimination linked to coronavirus.
He shouted, I don't want your coronavirus in my country.
Jonathan Mock is a student from Singapore studying in London. He told the BBC he was walking down the street last week when 4 people attacked him.
Actually, such a serious problem that has plagued us for a very long time.
There's also been apparent attacks in New York City, posted on social media.
Yo. I don't want them under me. Tell them to move.
Peter Koo is a councilman in Flushing, Queens, a predominantly Asian neighborhood.
Asian Americans are just like other Americans. We are all susceptible to virus.
In other major cities across the country, politicians have tried to combat racism and misinformation.
There's been a lot of xenophobia against folks who are part of our Asian community.
Showing support at rallies and by dining in restaurants. But Lam worries the road to recovery is a long one.
It sounds like corona is crippling businesses. It's crippling communities.
It is.
Do you think the damage is done?
The damage is already done.
It was around 9:30 when people started lining up outside about 30 minutes before the store officially opened. You can see about 200 people in line, half of them saying they're here for toilet paper, water, some of the basic essentials, while other people, they're just shopping for food. The situation here yesterday, however, was so hectic, police were called after some customers started fighting over toilet paper and water. The chaos also happening at several stores yesterday. Take a look. This is video of a Costco in Woodland Hills. Again, a big line outside the store yesterday morning. The store there sold out of water due to the buying frenzy. We are now hearing that Costco is limiting customers to just 2 packs of water per member per day. Not sure if this is happening at all Costco locations. Viewers have been sending us videos showing the chaos from stores in Burbank to Van Nuys to Marina Del Rey. Also popular on social media, people posting pictures of empty store shelves selling out of things like hand sanitizer and disinfectant wipes. Customers are also stocking up on dry grocery items, cleaning supplies, especially Clorox and bleach, water, paper goods. Costco corporate announcing yesterday their sales are up 12% compared to this time last year, and about 3% of the uptick they're contributing it to concerns over coronavirus.
Let's get right to the latest on the coronavirus outbreak. Today, Governor Cuomo announcing starting tomorrow at 5 p.m. a ban on any gatherings of 500 people or more. But starting tonight, all Broadway shows are suspended until April 12th. Several other cultural institutions are also shutting their doors, including the Metropolitan Museum of Art, Carnegie Hall, and Lincoln Center.
Sports also impacted within the last hour. Major League Baseball announcing it is delaying the start of its season by at least 2 weeks, and spring training games have been canceled. Now that follows other leagues such as the NBA, NHL suspending their season, and college basketball tournaments all canceled. Comes as the number of COVID-19 cases in New York State climbs to 328 cases. In New Jersey, the cases rose 29 cases, the most in Bergen County.
There's a run on supplies this morning. Big box stores across the country are seeing the growing concern over the coronavirus here in the longest lines they've seen in years.
I'm in panic because I went to Costco and there's no water.
These are pictures posted online from various Costcos, and a line just as long outside a store in Brooklyn. At this Publix supermarket in Fort Lauderdale, they were doing double takes over this, seeing a shopper who was either kidding or taking the coronavirus fears very seriously, dressed from head to toe in a hazmat suit while getting supplies at the grocery store.
The end of the line for the toilet paper and paper towels is right here.
From coast to coast, even out in Hawaii, stores that were recently filled with bottled water, baby wipes, and toilet paper wiped empty.
We sold out the masks first, and then the hand sanitizer went a little bit after. I guess people are just real nervous about the potential spread.
One consumer research firm says that sales of dried beans are up 10%. Thermometers are up 47%. Hand sanitizer, 73%. And none of those numbers take into account sales from the last week and a half. On their website, Kroger has announced that they will be limiting the number of sanitization, cold, and flu-related products to 5 each per order.
I think that's really good that they are limiting people so that people can't go buy the whole store and there's plenty to go around.
If a pandemic were to happen, the Department of Homeland Security says it would be helpful to have on hand a 2-week supply of water and food. And they suggest that you make sure your drug prescriptions are refilled and that you have a good supply of pain relievers, cold and cough medicines, and other non-prescription items. But some experts say that the run on products like bottled water and hand sanitizer might be a little overboard.
You don't need to be applying the hand sanitizer every 5 minutes. A small bottle in your purse or pocket should be fine to get you through several weeks. It's a respiratory virus. I don't see that it could live in our water supply, and so I don't see a reason to need to stock up on any kind of bottled water or water filters or anything like that. You can drink the water that you normally drink.
The shockwaves from President Trump's decision to ban nearly all travel from Europe. Americans scrambling to get home from overseas before it takes effect. States and cities taking drastic measures to enforce social distancing. New York's governor banning gatherings over 500 people. California banning events of 250 or more. Now some states closing all public schools. Also tonight across the country, the mass cancellations. Broadway going dark, Disneyland and Universal Studios Hollywood shutting down. March Madness called off. The NBA, MLB, and NHL delaying their seasons. A second NBA player testing positive. And Hollywood legend Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson infected. The stock market in free fall, the Dow plunging over 2,000 points. The worst day since the 1987 crash. The testing crisis, President Trump saying it's going smoothly, but a much more sobering message from a top expert fighting the crisis.
That is a failing.
And failing, yes.
It is a failing. I mean, let's admit it.
Why is U.S. testing lagging so far behind other countries?